Hello, hello. Welcome to the Make Your Studio Facebook page. I'm Cheryl. I create over on the Home Woman Making Facebook page where I do a lot of creations using the Make Your Studio products. So I have a stencil today and it is so huge that I had to clear off my desk because it's just that big. So let me show it to you. It's called Speaking of Christmas. Now look at the size of this compared to me, right? It's huge. It's an 18 by 24 inch stencil. Got a lot of words on it, a lot of stuff going on. So on this side, we have all the reindeer's names, including Rudolph. Got some end signs. We have the words bright, merry, love, peace, and hot cocoa, gingerbread joy, Noel, jingle bells, and snow. A lot of different fonts and a lot of different sizes of the words, so you could use this stencil in so many ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is attempt to take it out of its package. It's just so big. And if you are hopping on today, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you have bought all your presents already. Let us know how you're doing this holiday season. Also, don't forget to tag 3 friends and share this tutorial so you can be in the giveaway for this particular stencil. So I am going to cut it. I want to use the reindeer names. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the reindeer names off of the stencil. I am going to leave them in one piece on the stencil, but you could use them, individually too. So I'm just going to put this huge part of the other part of the stencil away. Remember, you have a lot more projects that you can do with that, but I am just going to be using the reindeer names today. So who could, I'm not going to show you, but who can name the reindeers? I can't. So it's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph. I never remember them all. So what I'm going to do with this stencil, before I got on the live, I took a piece of wood. Now I had this cut from my local Lowe's. It's just a piece of white wood, and it's a 24 inch by 9 inch piece. Now I did buy it in 10 feet sections. Now I don't know if you know this, but most of your Lowe's and Home Depots and stores like that will cut these for you as long as they're, I know mine will not cut anything less than 12 inches. So you could go ahead and make your own projects and just go get raw wood. And what I did is I used our gel stain in the English walnut, and I did it at a 50-50 ratio. So I took some of it and then I mixed it with water on a 50-50 to get this kind of a little bit of an more opaque stain color. And then on the whole side of it, on each side, I went ahead and I used the one-step paint in the Bauhaus buff. So that's the surface, and that's how I prepared it before I got on here. Now, sometimes when you're using like wood, look and see which side is kind of like better, maybe not as many knots, or it wouldn't interfere with wording. So I'm going to use this side of the surface. So remember, you can make your own porch sitters and everything. All you have to do is go get a piece of raw wood, use the stain, use the one-step paint, and you can make it your own. So I'm going to pull this off its backing. If you are new to a Maker Studio, these are tri-mesh stencils that are adhesive, so they are repositionable and washable and reusable. So always save the backing, because when this is all washed and dried, we put it back on its backing and put it into the sleeve, and that's how you would store it. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get this centered on this piece of wood. Now, this is a huge piece of wood, and this is also a huge stencil. So I'm just going to try to eyeball where I want it and then make sure it's going straight. You can measure if you would like to make sure, you know, you have it centered, but I think I did pretty much centered it. So here's what I'm gonna do. Now, actually I don't think it's, let me just check that again. Sometimes when you look at it from down below, it's way different than if you look at it from the top. So let me just see if I can move it over just a tad. Just a tad. This is the good thing about it being repositional. We could do this as many times as we want. So I'm using this line as a guide. Of course, this one is a little bit wonky. So just going to line it up again and make sure that this line is even. And then one of the most important things when you're using the stencils are to make sure they're flush with your surface. No need to tape or anything because it's definitely an adhesive stencil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to show you as much as I can because no matter what view I do, this is a pretty big piece of wood. Now let me again check this to make sure. I think I got it straight. So I am going to start with 2 different gel art inks. I'm going to use the red in Bless His Heart, and I'm going to use the white in Well I Declare. So I'm going to take 2 of our squeegees, and I am going to do all of the names of the reindeer except Rudolph in white. Because we all know Rudolph has a red nose, so that's what I'm going to do. So if you guys are just hopping on, don't forget to tag 3 friends and share this video, and you can be in the drawing for it. That's all you have to do to be in the drawing is tag 3 friends on here and then share it to your Facebook page. So I'm just spreading it through the stencil, making sure to press it so that the product goes through to the board. And I could tell that because the board and the stencil is appearing white. That means I got it all the way through. So I'm just going to go all the way down till I get to the word Rudolph, and that's where I'm going to switch color of the gel art ink to the Bless His Heart color. This is such a huge stencil. So this is going to make a really cute porch sitter. Actually, I am going to be putting it on my fireplace, just leaning it against the fireplace. So remember, everything here is washable. So I'm just going to put my little squeegee in a water bath. Normally you would just go run it under water, but I'm on a live, so I can't do that. Now I'm going to take some of the Bless His Heart gel art ink, just a little bit, and I'm gonna do Rudolph in that. And get a little bit more. Make sure I get him all done. And then I'm gonna put my spreader into the water bath, and I am going to lift the stencil, which is always, always, always my favorite part because it reveals all the detail. And then the Rudolph at the bottom is red. So here's what I'm going to do. I do have a water bath. I'm going to put this in there because I can't get up and go run it underwater, but you would just run that underwater and manipulate it with your hand or a soft sponge and get all the product out of the stencil. So real quick before I let this dry, I'm going to take a little bit of glitter, and it's red glitter. But what I'm going to do is, because the word Rudolph is still wet, the whole thing is still wet actually, I'm going to put some glitter just on the Rudolph part. And it's going to adhere to the gel art ink, so it's just going to give it a little bit more detail. Now, just got a little piece, a little place that I can pat it so I don't get all the glitter all over. Now what it's doing is it's actually just attaching to the wet gel art ink. Now I'm not going to manipulate any of it. Some of it is still on the board, but that is not attached to the wet part. So once it completely dries, I will go back and then just brush off all the excess glitter. But I don't want to do that now because it needs to dry. This whole thing needs to dry. Now what I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to do is put my top on my glitter because I don't want to have glitter all over the place. Got my lids on here because they are water-based and you don't want them to dry out. I'm going to take just a little bit of twine. Maybe I want a thicker twine. Let me see if I have a thicker twine here. No, maybe I'll use this twine. And I'm just going to, just for a little bit of detail, I'm just going to wrap some twine around the top. Now, be mindful that this is wet, okay? So as I'm going to wrap, just going to make sure I don't touch any of the wet part. I'm just going to wrap it a couple of times around the top. Just going to give it a little bit of detail, right? Who don't like twine? And I'm not really wrapping it any specific way. I just have it going around, and then I'm going to tie a knot in it. So again, if you are just hopping on here, this was a fabulous big stencil, and I just used one part of it. There's so much more to use, so I just put a little bit of twine at the top. No rhyme or reason. It's a little bit wonky, but I like it that way. And then I'm just going to take a little bow that I made and stick that up here. It'll cover some of the wording, but you will get the gist of it, that it is all of the reindeers. And then of course you got Rudolph at the bottom in red because he's always stood out with his little red nose. Now let that dry. I am going to shorten these little dovetail ends just a little bit so it doesn't cover too much. But there you have it. Simple and easy. Little porch sitter, or in my case, a little thing that I'm going to be putting on my fireplace. Isn't that cute? Simple and easy. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever your hardware store is. Get a piece of wood, stain it. The stain is fabulous. The gel stain works really good. And then you have just the white detail to pick up the white gel art ink in the, what was the name of that? Well I Declare. So you got the one step in the Bauhaus Buff, the Well I Declare gel art ink in the white, and then the red is Bless His Heart. So there you go. Simple and easy porch sitter or even a leaner on your fireplace. So simple, right? Look how beautiful that is. Again, we still have a whole bunch of part of the stencil that we haven't even used yet. So you can complete and make a lot of more projects out of the rest of the stencil. The words are fabulous. So I hope this inspired you guys. I hope it inspired you guys. Again, if you're just signing on, make sure you tag 3 friends and share this video so that you can be in the giveaway for this stencil. So what do you think? What do you think? I even added a little bit of bling at the bottom with the glitter. You see that little shining over there? So there you go. Simple and easy porch sitter. I hope it inspired you. Go ahead and check out all the product details up in the description and create some beautiful artwork and for your holiday season, because we have so many stencils that you can create so many fabulous things. So thank you guys for watching. And again, don't forget to tag 3 friends and share this tutorial. Again, I'm Cheryl from over on the Home My Making page. Hope to see you over there. Thanks, guys.